Hello everybody, welcome to Indigo Tarot Odyssey. How is everybody? I'm so excited. At the end of the video, I will regale, if you guys are curious and you'd like to hear about my little adventure. I got to go see a lifelong friend at her family's beach house, and oh my gosh, my adventures at the train stations, because I'm so geographically challenged, and all the funny things that occurred. It was so great. There was like 30 people in and out on the beach house and on the beach, and we had this, oh my gosh, this float out that you could go sit on, and there's sandbars. It was really a beautiful, beautiful experience. And again, always when I get to see my best friend, we always have the wildest conversations. And at the end too, I'll share, we drove through our childhood neighborhood and the differences, and it was just Chillsville. But let's begin and see what cards we have today. This was one of my first decks. I think it was like my third deck that I got. I just loved the artwork. I loved the book. I liked the writings and all of the messages that came with these. So the Swan Queen is transformation, intuition, and patience. And that lets us know, for this reminds me too, like, really adopt that beginner's mindset. Like, what can I discover today? Be curious about it. You know, that gives us patience, and then we can use our intuition to kind of guide us and say, you know, does this seem like a good path? Does this seem like a good idea? Does this person or energy seem like a nice presence to me? It really is time to transform what you allow in your life and how you can recognize these things that will really help you and help you focus on the effort, not the outcome of things. That's really intuition. Like, okay, I want the procedure of, like, just say finding the perfect beads, the perfect colors, the greatest wire to all of this, not like the finished product of racing through it, whatever that is. This has to do pretty much with growth mindset. You know, what do you want to learn about yourself? And I feel like intuitively, our intuition and our heart is always trying to guide us to a patient, calm, loving format in our life. Yet I know, even personally, just due to the way the world is situated and commercialism and materialism, it constantly is trying to turn our head, you know, away from nature, away from resting, away from connecting to things that truly matter, to like the rush and the go of it all. But the Swan Queen is like, oh, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to take my time getting ready and sipping my tea and relaxing. And then I'm just going to follow my bliss. Like, what do I want to do today that's going to make me feel good? This is really choosing purpose over passion, you know, because passion sometimes can be that impulse, like, go do this, go buy this, where when we have a purpose mindset, it's like, no, I was going to garden today and relax, all of that. And knowing what matters to you and just absolutely saying no to everything else. So if there's other things that are going to bombard your schedule and it doesn't suit you, intuitively you'll feel that and you'll be able to say no to it. You know, whether it's going out on a mindless gossiping sessions with people that you don't really gel all that well with, you know, they could just be business partners or people that you work with, whatever it is, just things that you don't feel wholly excited about, saying no to it, because that helps you to learn to manage yourself and also others, to let other people know, hey, I'm not going to say yes to every invite. I'm not going to say yes to go do things I don't necessarily want to do. That'll also help you to not feel obligated to help others. If they're like, hey, I'm painting my house or fence, do you want to come help? Like, people luring you in and your resources to do work for them and making it seem like it's time spent together. And we all know those friends or family members. It's like, hey, you want to come over and help me clean out my attic and re-roof my house? And, you know, yeah, no, thank you. Those type of things. So forget it. Also, in anything that you do, this I love the River Queen, this flow, this letting go, this natural movement. This is like, forget about getting credit and recognition. Just go and do something because you want to and it feels good. So if you want to write a poem, you don't necessarily have to post it and let everybody like know, you know, these are my words, you know, whatever it is. It's, to me, it's more like if somebody reposted a poem that you wrote, that you have to go and grab the credit and be like, I actually wrote this. You just let it out into the universe. You just let it flow. I feel like there's so much beautiful information and pointers and tips and things that allow people to recognize something great in themselves. And it's like, we don't have to be out there wearing a billboard that says, I thought of this, because all thoughts are cyclical. I'm serious. Some thought that we've had, somebody's had the time before, they may not have uttered it or published it, but it's been out there. Most wonderful thing for the River Queen, connect with nature and the universe at large. Just sit for a moment and look at the trees. I love just walking barefoot in sand, in the ocean, in my yard. It's that moment. It feels so wonderful and fresh. And I love this. I read this thing, choose alive time over dead time. So alive time is I'm moving and I'm talking to people and I'm connecting and I'm feeling good. I'm creating something over. I'm staring at the 10th episode of a show. I've sat in front of the couch where I'm not even understanding what's being said, or I don't even care anymore because I've overindulged in it. That's kind of like dead time, where you just turn your brain off and you just go on like autopilot, and you're just killing time until you go to sleep. That is dead time. Alive time is, what can I learn? What are these people doing? Every once in a while, I kind of avoid Facebook because I have so many wonderful family members and friends on there that sometimes I'm like, I can't go down that rabbit hole, especially if I feel like I might run into a tragedy or a death. I'm like, oh, I just can't right now. But it's one of those things that connecting with people and messaging them, that's a live time. Connect. Now, natural movement too is beautiful stretching, swimming. I love utilizing shower time to just kind of like twist my upper body and flex my feet and hands and put my arms over my head and just that flowing. And also water is wonderful to just let go of everything that's going on. Let go of control. Get out of your own head. When you find yourself in a hole, just stop digging. Just sit for a moment and rest. I love that. Just rest and assess where you are and where you'd like to be. And always, this reminds me too, pursuing mastery of our chosen craft. I'm always looking up new evidence of wonderful magic that's out there, new evidence of people like breaking through that wall that they didn't think they could and becoming successful in their own eyes. And that's all that matters. When you're successful in your own eyes, it's such a wonderful thing. That is natural movement in life too. Always staying a student, keeping a kind of like inner scorecard of yourself. Am I improving today? Which is so wonderful. And it's really, really stopping playing the image game, and we focus on a higher purpose. Who cares the numbers, the likes, the subscribers, like when I hear all this stuff on social media and TikTokers and stuff, and even on, it's the weirdest thing. I was watching it the other day on it was one of the reality shows, and she's like, oh, well, she has so-and-so followers, and they were going on and on about it. Like, that makes a person, like, that is the substance of the person. It was really kind of like a sad indication of where our society's at, right? But the River Queen is like, oh, no, thanks. I'm letting go of what anybody thinks of me because I want to be my best, highest self, and I don't really care. I'm going to consider my mental health and saving it in the best way possible. That means avoiding obnoxious things that aren't necessary. And that brings us to the winged and wise ones, angelic help, miraculous aid. This almost like, the reminder of this almost set me to tears yesterday. So I get to the train station, love my husband so much. He got everything I got all the apps, I had all my tickets ready, and I'm standing there and I'm waiting for the train, and I see this like lady in her 70s in this cute linen dress, and she's so adorable, and she comes up to me and starts talking. The moment she does, I know she's Ukrainian, and I'm like, okay, keep it together, because I'm like feeling all the vibes. So beautiful, so sweet. And I was like, I love your outfit. And she's like, thank you. She's like, do you know if the train coming goes to Fairfield? And I said, I believe it does, because I'm going further down the line, and if this is a local, it'll stop everywhere. And then we were kind of like, two trains came very close together. One was a direct line, and we almost got on that. And then I asked the conductor, who stuck his head out, and he said, no, that's your next train. And then I sat right behind her, and I looked up some Ukrainian words, nice to meet you. And when she was leaving, because we had a nice conversation out there, and she said that she lived, and it's funny because I was asking about when she said Kiev, it sounded like that. And I was like, oh, like Kiev, Kiev, because I certainly don't. One thing I was curious about is the difference. I know Ukrainian territories, they can spell and pronounce differently than the Russians do. And that was her capital, and she lived there, and she was so sweet. She goes, yes, I'm going back there. It's not demolished yet. I have family over here. They've lived here for 10 years, and I'm going to go back in a few months. And she was so lively and chipper, and I was like, it just screwed my head on directly straight, like, wow. Here is this, amazing woman that is cheerful and chatty and wonderful. And it just turned my reality to a whole new page, and I loved it. And that was definitely the winged wise ones in my guide saying, see this is your angelic help. When you get a little nervous about maybe missing a train or getting on the wrong train, this is the big picture here, and I feel like it was like miraculous aid. It put my mindset in very restful, calm, happy space for this. And also it shows up everywhere. I feel like birds are a huge synchronistic kind of traveler that remind us of certain things. And man, do I have like mad bird activity. Yesterday, when Jeannie and I were driving over the causeway in our old neighborhood. And then when we were going by the town beach, she was pointing out these nests and all of these things that had become like a landmark where it was a bird sanctuary, and American bald eagles were around. There was everything. And I was like, I just got like the absolute chills because I love that. And in one town over from us, there's a big bald eagle nest there too. And I was like, just all of these things that were synchronizing, and it was really wild. Also, when I got on the train, I was really excited to see Jeannie, and she has a little bulldog, and a lady got on the train and sat down with the bulldog, and the bulldog kept looking at me. Just all these little events that I knew I was having angelic help, and I was like getting excited for it. And it is all around when we look for it and when we tap into it. It is always, always available to us. So I want you to know that I read this thing this morning, and I felt like this was angelic help. And it said, wake up every morning and say, this is going to be the best day of my life. And it will feel like that because you're saying to yourself, I'm going to look for things that make this appear and to actually be awesome. You know what I mean? I'm going to see special things. I'm going to have great communication with people. I'm going to feel great. And as you say those type of things to yourself, you realize that you're responsible for the aspects of everything that happens during the day. You're completely free. You're understanding that certain things do make you happy, and there's a compilation of things that we can just disregard and not pay attention to. You know, other people's folly, other people's negativity, like who cares? You know, just be yourself and love yourself, and that creates a wonderful day in general. I definitely feel, because life is a constant flux, so we need to savor the moments that we enjoy and let those that we don't really love to pass. So I love it. So I just want to tell you a quick couple of things that happened yesterday that I love so much, and it's kind of an homage to my bestie because she's so wonderful, and it just is a testament to, you know, long-term friends. And it is that kind of friendship where we have maybe like a busy life, whatever's going on. When kids were younger, whatever, like an entire year would pass. We drop each other a couple messages like, oh Mel, I'm going to this, do you want to meet up? And it was just like I saw them the day before. Nothing has ever changed. We just have a high compatibility due to our energies. And again, I've always been impressed by Jean's responsibility and work ethic, all of that. And so from the moment I was so jazzed on the train, I was like almost hyperventilating because I was having all these cues and clues, you know, and the bulldog and the beautiful Ukrainian lady, and just little things that happened. There were so many. But one of the best things was right after she picked me up, she's like, Mel, do you want to go drive by the old neighborhood and drive around? Totally crazy. Like, talk about Chillsville. Go by, you know, our old clubhouse. They jazzed that out, made it all beautiful. And some of the houses were kind of the same. And then the eeriest portion was Jeannie's childhood house was just no longer there. It was just no longer there. It was so weird. And we only lived like one little spiral of road around, and all like the little things that passed, we used to cut through to go to each other's house. And my old house, it was kind of remodeled in a neat way. It used to be blue, and now it's white with darker shutters, but I like the way that they landscaped the driveway and had white pebbles, and then they had this big fence, but it blocked off. I really wanted to see if the pool and the deck and all the goodies were still there in Mom's garden, and that was just like Chillsville, and just going by the old beaches, and you get these flood of emotions, and remembering you were a kid. Like, I had these flashbacks when I was sunburned, and I didn't care because me and my friend were going to go fishing and all of this stuff, and it was just wild. And driving by this area where Jeannie launched off the back of the bike, or I launched off and landed on her, and she broke her collarbone right out on the main road. All this crazy stuff. It was so fun. And then when we were at the beach house, just all these lovely people talking and laughing, and seeing Jean's cousin, who I love, Jenny, and her little girls. And one of my nicest things I did during the day was, as soon as I got there and I went in the water, Jenny's daughter Cora was off on, there's this lovely like wooden walkway that's partially underwater, and she's like, can you come catch me? And I just love that. Like, I hadn't seen her since she was a baby. Just that trust and excitement to be out. So I caught her, and then we were swimming around, and just the young, youthful energy, and running into old friends, Carl and other people, and just talking and laughing and reliving the day. So anytime that any of you guys get an invite from any kind of friend to just sit and, you know, just chat and be by the water and be together and share a meal and the warmth and old stories, say yes. I'm not kidding you when I said I almost bowed out of this. I almost talked myself out of it, thinking, it's going to be too crowded. I'll have to have all this, you know, preparation, all these towels and weather conditions. Like I almost thought myself out of it. And then instead I said, no, get excited about it. Get some new things. Get a new dress, get a new fun beach towel, get some good lotions and potions and goodies, and bring your cards and do whatever. And then it turned into kind of like a fun little festival. So do that for yourself. When someone invites you, go out and go for it. So I just want to say, Jeannie, Jen, all of you guys, I love you. Thank you for that invite. It was the absolute best. And you guys, summer is meant for this kind of weather. Summer is meant to kick back and be with people you love and spend time with them and all of this. You know, use your intuition to transform your energy into letting go, being in the flow. If you need angelic help, just ask and you will see the miracles arise and create a path for you that really lets you know the right way to go. And that's pretty much saying yes to the things that bring you connection and joy and hope and love. So love and light.